Who says you need the gym? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Aisha, nice to meet you. Okay, so somehow we're halfway through the year. Don't ask me how that's possible. I don't know. I thought it was February, so I've got no clue. I've seen a lot of people do this, so we'll do my top 10 favorite books that I've read so far in 2025. This year, 2025 has been treating me very well. It's been very nice to me. I've had multiple 5 stars. The beginning of it was very slow, but then after May, I had an incredible month. If you want, you can go and have a look at my May wrap up. So many 5 stars, so many. Like, I had a great time. A lot of these books I have done reading vlogs, so you might already know them. I'm gonna start with the 4.5s and 4.25s, and then I'm gonna end with my favorites, my 5 stars. Okay, let's start with the 4.25. First one is Rewind It Back, which was probably one of my most anticipated new releases of this year. This is the last book in the Windy City series that is ended now, and it's very sad. I really love this series. It's an interconnected standalone sport romances with different sports. You have hockey, basketball, and baseball. This one was a hockey romance, and I think this was more special than some of the others because this is the last one, and like you feel like it's the last one, and it really felt like, oh my god, as if it's his time, because you see him as like this joker guy who never has a date, and then you find out that actually his first love was his neighbor, his childhood best friend and neighbor, and they were so in love in something that happened 6 years ago, and they haven't spoken since. And then in the meantime, he became a hockey star and she became an interior designer, and he even hired her as an interior designer, but he didn't know that it was her. And she ends up living next door. So it's forced proximity because she's around quite a lot because she's renovating his house and is his neighbor. Hate each other at the beginning, and then, you know, you find out what happened. There's a lot happened, and there's a lot more than just them having a fight 6 years ago. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4.25. I gave it 4.25 and not higher because Rio was a bit too fucking nice. You know, sometimes I need a little bit more drama, a little bit more, this is awful, but like I need a little bit more, like some drama. I feel like there wasn't a lot of drama. They were obviously in love from day one. I don't love childhood best friends and second chance romances, but still the writing was Liz Ford, and it was like amazing. And the found family, I think in all the books, this was the best books for the found family because it was complete and it was all of them, and it was so cute, and I'm so happy that finally Rio got his happy ending. I'm very happy for him. Let me explain to you, it is so hot. So I have the window open, but like obviously it's gonna make noises. I'm gonna grab something to put my hair back. Couldn't find anything else, so sunglasses will have to do. The other 4.25 stars that I have in this pile is Just for the Summer. Was this 4.25 or 4.5? I was lying. This is a 4.5. So that was the only 4.25. This is a 4.5. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. A surprise on one side because I had read a Abby Jimenez book before called Part of Your World. And when I tell you, I enjoyed that book, but I didn't love it, which actually is the first book in this series. I didn't love it. So I didn't know if like I would love this one. So I put it off reading this for a hot minute, and I regret it because it was so good. So Justin posts on Reddit a little story about himself, how every time he dates anyone, that person always ends up finding her one true love right after she breaks up with Justin. So Justin is like, it's almost like I am a good luck charm for all my exes, but then I never end up finding my one true love, my forever person. Emma replies saying, oh my god, it happens to me too. Let's make a pact. Let's date each other just for the summer, and then we'll break up, and then our curses will work for each other, so we will both find our, like, the love of our life right after we break up. Perfect. But obviously they meet and they date for the summer, and Justin is a walking green flag and he's perfect. Obviously there's feelings involved. The thing about this is that there was so much more to them. Emma had a difficult childhood, a difficult situation that she talked about, and Justin as well had a difficult situation back home because his mom was about to go to prison and he had to take care of his 3 minor younger siblings, so he had to become a parent overnight. And Emma had a lot going on with her mom as well. I had read the first book in the series, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together at all. Not at all, until the end. I just forgot about that book completely. And then at the end I was like, But if you read the first book, there's gonna be links to that book, which is so interesting and so fun. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. 4.5 stars. So good, so nice. I love the romance. I love the quotes in this book. I love the writing. Great, 10 out of 10. If you're looking for romance to read, 100% this is a great one. And it goes so quick and it's so easy. Another 4.5 stars romance, which really surprised me, was Out on a Limb. Out on a Limb was so good. I did not expect it to be this good. I knew everyone liked it, but I didn't think I would love it because I'm quite a harsh marker with romance and I get cringed out easily and I get bored easily with romance, and I was not. I was there the whole time. This is a pregnancy plot. If you like it, you like it. I love it. I don't mind the pregnancy plot as long as it's not a pregnancy trope. I've talked about this way too many times, but you know the difference. Pregnancy plot I do really enjoy. This was so well done. Loved the characters. They were funny, they were smart, and both of them had disabilities. So Winnie was born with a little hand and Bo lost his leg the year before they met. They met at a Halloween party and they had a one-night stand, and then she got pregnant, and then, you know, things evolved, and Bo, another fucking walking green flag, perfect man, so funny, smart, with glasses. Yes, the only like little thing that I had that wasn't a 5-star, I would have liked to see them more with the child at the end, but like the book kind of ended when she gave birth and then the epilogue was like many years later, so I wish I had more of the newborn stage. I feel like that's a fun thing to read about because it's so like unknown and you know, but that's okay. The thing about this book, they were funny. I multiple times laughed out loud at the way they were conversing, the banter they had, and they clicked immediately. This would be a perfect beach read. I was eating it up. I literally read this in like 24 hours or something. Another 4.5 stars for me was Onyx Store. It was almost a 5-star for me, not a 5-star. It was 4.5. This is the third book in the Empyrean series, or Fourth Wing. I really enjoyed it. I preferred it so much more to Iron Flame. I enjoyed the characters in this. All the men in this book showed up in this book. Like some boys that I didn't care about at all in the other books, I was like, okay. It was a little bit slow at the beginning and then it picked up. And then I was there, and then we were there, we were flying with the dragons. If you don't know, this is a romantasy series, which is like kind of like Divergent with dragons kind of vibe. That's the vibe. Now, the second book had a crazy ending, and then it kind of was like not as crazy in the beginning. And I was like, oh, okay. And then it got crazy. And then the ending of this, I enjoyed Dane so much in this book. Every time he was there, I was kicking my feet. And you say what you want to say, I fucking love that bitch. I love Dane. And him and Sloane, the little crumbs that I had is the only thing I keep thinking about. When I tell you, I don't even care about Violet and Satan in the next book. I want Dane and Sloane, and I want Garrick and Imogen. And when I tell you, I just want, I'm not gonna lie, Rebecca, if you're listening, I know you're watching for sure, 100%. In the next book, I want multiple point of views the whole time. Towards the end, we had multiple point of views. I had a great fucking time reading from the point of view of like Imogen, reading from the point of view of like, I want this. Also, I loved Rydok in this. He was so funny. I laughed out loud at a scene with the cook. So funny. I literally had a great time. I have so many theories. I can't wait for the next book, even though it's gonna be in like 2 years. But anyway, I prefer this so much more to Iron Flame. Okay, I only have one other book that is in 5 stars, and then all the others are 5 stars. But this one is the second in a series, so I'm gonna show you both. So we have the first 2 books in the Dark Artifices series by Cassandra Clare. Now this is in the Shadowhunters universe, so this is the 3rd series after the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices. The first book, Lady Midnight, was a 5-star for me, and the second book was 4.25. This is set right after the Mortal Instruments timeline. I love that in this series you get characters from the other series, so you get to see them, and it's like so, sometimes I literally could cry just thinking about these characters. This is set in Los Angeles, and the main character is called Emma. Emma is a Shadowhunters who has lost her parents years ago, and lately there's been a lot of murders that looked exactly like her parents did that have started again. So her and her best friend Julian, her Parabatai, are trying to find out what's going on, what happened, who's killing these people. There's a rule in the Shadowhunters world that you cannot be in love with your Parabatai. You cannot be romantically involved with your Parabatai. It's against the law. It's punishable by exile. Guess what? these motherfuckers are definitely in love. And they're trying to hide it to each other, not tell each other, and then, you know, there's a lot going on. I thought the first book had a crazy cliffhanger, right? Cassandra Clare books always have a crazy cliffhanger. So the ending, I was like, oh, Cassandra, what did you write? And then I read the second one. The ending of this book crushed me. That's the only reason why I haven't read the third book yet. I cannot even think about reading the next book because the ending of this one, of the second one, of Lord of Shadows, was so mean, so horrible. Can you tell that I'm about to cry? I'm not gonna cry because that's silly. Look, immediately. The ending of this book was so sad. I don't want to cry. I feel like the rest of the books are gonna be sad, so I need to get my shit together. Oh my god, I'm crying. The ending of this book was crazy, so I don't want to read the next one because first of all, the next book is huge. It's like way bigger than this, and I know it's gonna destroy me. I'm absolutely aware that I will be destroyed. I gave this 4.5 instead of 5 stars just because the beginning was a little bit slow and I think it's a little bit too long. Like some things could have been cut and it would have been fine, but I still absolutely adore the characters, adored like the setting, the found family. Also Julian, another J character like Justin in Just for the Summer, that has to take care of his younger siblings. He has 4 younger siblings and his parents are both deceased, so he is in charge of his 4 younger siblings, and he became a dad at the age of 12. And there's another character after that has the same exact attributes. I'm gonna talk about him later. But yeah, so absolutely adored the series so far. Terrified about reading the next book. A book that almost everyone rated 5 stars, as we should, is Sunrise on the Reaping. Everyone knows about this book. I talked about this book, you talked about this book, my neighbor talked about this book. If you don't know, this is the prologue of The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. So The Hunger Games is a trilogy, it's like a dystopian trilogy, and then it had 1 prequel already, and this one goes in between the prequel that already was out called Songbirds and Snakes and the first Hunger Games book. On Sunrise on the Reaping, we have Hamish's Games, so the second quarter quell, the 50th Hunger Games. And this was a special year because obviously it was a quarter quell. And in this one, we had double the tributes. So there weren't only 24 tributes, but there were 48. And obviously Hamish wins, spoiler alert. But how does he win? What happens? There's so many characters from the other books that come in that make it so much more special. So many things that happen in this book make something that happens in the Hunger Games make sense, and it's incredible how smart and how genius Suzanne Collins is. And also with everything that is happening in the world, read the fucking Hunger Games, okay? With everything that is going on out there, read the Hunger Games, because these books always come out when you need them. Suzanne Collins always say that, like she will always drop a book with a political background when the world needs it, and we need it at the moment. Yeah, it was amazing, incredible. I cried at this. It was sad at times. Obviously, I actually can't wait for the movie. The casting director of this movie is slaying. Every single casting so far has been spot on perfect, like absolutely spot on perfect. I am so excited for next year to see this. This was 100% of 5 stars and the first 5 star of the year for me. Another one of my favorite books that I've read so far was The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. This was a 5-star prediction for me. I knew I was gonna like it. I absolutely adored every single page of this book. Jessa Hastings is the writer of Magnolia Park series, and that's one of my favorite series ever, especially the Daisy Hates books. So Georgia is from America, but she lives in London. And at one point she gets a call from her sister. Their dad passed away, so she has to fly all the way back to America to go to his funeral. Georgia has a difficult relationship with her family. She doesn't really speak to her parents and 2 of her siblings. She only really speaks to Oliver, one of her brothers. She doesn't really speak to her other brother or her sister because something happened 10 years ago when she was like 15, 16. And when that thing happened when she was 15, that was the thing that made her parents ship her away to London, and she's been to London ever since. So she has difficult, conflicting opinions about the fact that her dad just died because she didn't really speak to him that much. And then there's the whole thing about, as you can tell, religion. Religion is quite a big talk in this book, which is one of my favorite topics of conversation ever. So I enjoyed it so much. I think it was talked about it very respectfully and very smart, with a very good concept of both parts. Oliver, her brother that she loves, is gay. So coming back to this little town in South Carolina everyone is very religious and some people are very rude to Oliver because it's a sin to be gay and it's awful and how dare you. And obviously that doesn't sit well with Georgia, obviously. So there's a lot talks about that. And there's a romance in there because Oliver is a drug addict, so he has an AA sponsor, and that's Sam. So Sam comes with Oliver to South Carolina, and Georgia and Sam click right away, and there's a lot going on there, and Sam is a fucking perfect man and I love him so much. He's like 10 out of 10. I love their relationship so much. That romance was perfect. But I feel like this is not a romance book. That's like almost a subplot, because in the meantime there's something else happening. The conditions of will, because the dad left his will, and in the will there was a person that we didn't know, and and there's a lot there unraveling and a lot of things. Some of the best quotes I've ever read in my life are from this book. I adored every second of this. I just realized this is 11 books, not 10. Anyway, we're gonna talk about Boys of Tommen. If you've seen any of my videos on TikTok or here, I love the series, okay? We're gonna start with the 6 books. I read Saving 6 at the beginning of the year, and then I read Redeeming 6. I had read Binding 13 and Keeping 13 2.5 years ago, so a while ago, and then at the time these books were out, so I didn't read them. Why did I do that? Because they were amazing. They were both 5 stars for me. I know this doesn't look like it, but this is a 950 pages book. It's insane. Very long, but still I loved every second of this. These 2 are from the point of view of Joey, which is Shannon's older brother, and Aoife. They've known each other since they were like 12. They've gone to school together. It was like a love-hate relationship for a long time. She was in a relationship for a long time and he was just there, and he didn't want to get into a relationship with anyone because he has a very difficult situation back home because he suffers from physical abuse from his dad. For that reason and many other reasons, please check your trigger warnings when you read any of the Boys of Tommen series. There's so much more to them than just they're not romance books. There's so much more to them, so please check your trigger warnings before reading any of them. Joey not only struggles with abuse from his dad, but he struggles with addiction as well. It starts when he's very young and then it gets worse and worse, and you get the full story of Joey and Aoife in these 2 books. This book is like the before Binding 13, and this one is during the Binding 13 and Keeping 13 timeline. 10 out of 10, love them. Joey is one of my favorite characters ever. I love him so much. I love Aoife as well, and everything that happened to them, the way they overcame what happened to them, the way they loved each other. Oh, it's just incredible. Friendship, family, everything that you can think of, it's in these books. When I told you about another male main character with a J name that is in charge of his 4 younger siblings, that's Joey, because obviously his parents don't really do the job, so he's in charge of his 4 younger siblings. He became a full-on parent at the age of 12, just like Julian, just like Justin. So I don't know what's going on here. Now, there's another book that had 5 stars for me in the series, and it was released in May, and I'm sure you've seen it everywhere. At least my For You page was nothing but this book, and it is released in 10. This book came out at the end of May. I haven't moved on since, okay? Just to put it out there. This book haunts me, but in the worst and best way. Now, if you thought the other books were traumatic, this is 10 times worse. 10 times. There is everything. Every trigger warning you could think of, it's in here. Chloe Walsh is always incredibly good at this, so she always writes all the trigger warnings at the beginning of the book, so check them before you read this. This was heavy. I have a reading vlog about this. This was heavy. This was hard to read because 1, she's my favorite character. Leslie Young is my favorite character, so I knew it was gonna hit me more because I loved her so much. She reminds me of Joey so much. Huey was such a surprise. How perfect that boy is, how incredible that is. They're definitely my favorite couple. Lizzie's definitely my favorite character in the series. I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed this book, but at the same time I hated it because everything that happened to this poor little girl was so sad and so horrible and so heartbreaking. This book is probably my favorite book I've read this year, but it was hard to read. It was very difficult to read, but very important because there's people out there that will feel seen with this book, and all the love to them. The way it's written is so raw and so realistic. The only thing I want is the next book. When I tell you I check Chloe Walsh's Instagram every day, I check the Spotify for snippets and playlists That's all I care about is claiming 10. I would definitely say my favorite book this year. This also is set before the timeline of Binding 13. This ends right before Binding 13 starts. I need the next book so bad, you don't understand. That's it. That's my top 11, I guess, because I can't count. Favorite books I read this year so far. I've had a great reading year so far, and hopefully it keeps going like that. Let me know your favorite books, because then I could read them, and that's like book recommendations for everyone. So leave a comment with your favorite books. I really want to know, because I'll add them to my TBR. It's never ending anyway. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for staying until the end. I'm boiling hot. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps so much. Hopefully I'll see you in my next video. I love you very much. I'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.